it was fortuitous that there were people who were interested in the university that had means. Herman, I have said publicly 100 times, is the most generous man I've ever met. And he's also a tough-minded businessman. I mean, he didn't find his money laying on the street. He earned it. He had a great business, and he taught me a lot about generosity and an interest in helping the next generation. And yes, he gave us probably $35 million while Brenda and I were there, the bulk of which was to build the Minder School of Business. But he also helped the nursing school, which was named for LaDonna's family, the Kramer School of Nursing. And he was the most interesting guy because he would go into a restaurant and the waiter would come over and he'd say, "Are you in college?" He said, "No, I'd kind of like to go, but I don't have the money." And Herman said, "Well, if you'll come to OCU to business school, I'll pay for it." I mean, I just can't even tell you how many people whose lives he affected. Yeah. And most of that unknown. I mean, everybody knows about the fantastic business school. Yeah. And then the second person was Wanda Bass. I don't want to overstay my time here with you.
No, we got time. You're good. We got plenty of time.
Wanda Bass also, she taught me more than anyone I've ever known the joy of giving. Yeah. She was a woman whose husband had, and with her help, had created a big bank in McAlester, Oklahoma, and they had a huge bank and lots of investments and stuff. And her daughter came to OCU before I came, and she was an instrumentalist. She's an organist. So the first time I met Mrs. Bass, she came in and said, "I would like to make OCU an all-Steinway school." And I said, "Well, I don't know what that means, and I don't know what it takes."
Right.
So I said, "But the dean of our music school does, Mark Parker." So I said, "Well, then why don't we just go to the Steinway and Company in New York and let's see what that means." So we went up there, and basically it said, it turns out we'd have to have 172 pianos. We had lots of people majoring in music. And it turns out that is the biggest purchase and sale in the history of the Steinway Company. So I come back and I say, "Wanda, it's going to cost $4 million, and then they'll have to be maintained." And she said, "Well, let's just do that." So we did. So we went up there and had a big affair in New York, and they hung a Steinway piano in the 21 Club with Wanda Bass's name on it, and that was the beginning of something really fantastic, because then she said, "Well, gee, this is, we got these old buildings, and what are we going to do about that?" So I'll fast forward to say it was not an easy process. Sure. But she gave us the bulk of the money to build the Wanda Bass School of Music, which cost more than $30 million as well. Wow. And but we had a lot of other people help. Yeah. I mean, we went out and asked, she would match what other people gave. Yeah. But before we did that, I drove to McAlester and met with her two sons. And I said, "I have appreciated getting to know your mother, and I really appreciate what she's done on the Steinway and Sons. She wants to give us $20 million or $25 million to build a new music school. And I'd like to know that you all feel okay about that. I don't know enough about your family business, but I do know that your mom's about 80 years old, and before we move into this, I'd sure like to know that you all approve of it and think it's okay, and we're not taking your money,
your future inheritance." Yeah.
And so they told me several stories about her generosity, and also verified that they were well provided for. Yeah. And they said, "This is just her. She's just the most generous person you've ever met in your life, and we're happy for her to do it." So and those two particularly, Ann Lacey was a big donor, gave us $12.5 million. And so we had a lot of people that helped. It was a combination, I think, of people having some confidence in the university, but also having the means to do it. And they all appeared in a relatively short period of time.